Hey there, folks. I'm Joe Crawford of artlong.com. Pretty much every day I go to CSSBattle.dev, do the daily target, and record myself doing it. That's what I'm going to do right now. Oh, yeah. Look at that guy. How about... Oof. An example of the kind of thing that can be done so many different ways. I have a hard time deciding. Let's do this with... So if we do the left side, then we can make a copy and flip it upside down, right? Like that's a thing that we can do, and maybe that's the best way. Is there another way? Could it be box shadows? It could be box shadows of 3 elements. How about 3 elements? Just the 3 most basic possible elements, and just blump blump blump. Three little dudes. Okay. And we're going to do some attributes here. Okay. So. All right. So we've got this background color, this. So C is different. It's got a different height and it's got a different background. And probably we'll want to set color to be that. And then we're going to do, not as a background, but box shadow inset 0 1 inch. Okay. So. And let's set okay. So now some margins. Margins to create these different shapes. 3, 4, 5, 6, 60, 0, 60, 40, 50, 40, 42, 200, 202. Okay, so that we got now. Height of this is probably what? 40, 30, 30. So B has a slightly different width. So let's do this as a margin. What's that value? We'll just call it A. Why not? No, let's call it M. No particular reason, but and we'll call M here is a little bit more than 42. How about 92 or 82? Okay, and we need a negative margin, minus 20, 30, 40. And then C has a different, that M value is a little bit more than 82. How about 102? And then the height of him is 100. No, the height of him is 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. That matches. Okay, so then color on this is this. And I'm going to copy this box shadow for all of them. So that works on all of them. And then they all need a second shadow, which we'll call N bar N. And so the default will be what? For 30 pixels, 200 pixels? 3, 4, 5. Aha. And then N on this one will be a little different. How about all these numbers are wrong. but I want to do something there. And 40 pixels minus 200 pixels. Okay, so we got a mess. Got a big mess. We'll do the last one first. 40, 50, 60, 70, 100, and 100 there. Boom, that one's good. How about this one? 100, 120, 30, 40, 20, 110, 50. Boom. That one's good. How about this one? 5, 6, 7, 8, 100, 120. 16. Okay. So that's maybe a weird solution. Let's submit and make sure we're at 100% match. This is one possible way to do this. Submitting, waiting on that 100%, which is always our goal, just to get to 100% match. We're not necessarily trying to get the absolute best score. Let's minify, unit replace, and resubmit. And this is one possible way to accomplish this. Of the many ways to do this. And it's not a terrible score. So, okay, now that we did it that way, what else can we do? If we do all backgrounds, linear conic gradients maybe, the issue is that we don't have a nice symmetry to work with. Like we'd use each one twice. Maybe that's good. So we'd have 3 variables, maybe. So let's try it. We'll try it. So what does that look like? Let's do A is this long one, conic gradient at 100 pixels. Did we decide on the height? 30 pixels? I can't remember. I could never remember right. 75%. And then this color. So I'm going to put now the green on the background and do a var dash dash A. And that's not working. Semicolon. There it is. So, okay. So if I do var dash dash A and then push it over 40 pixels and down 60 pixels, something like that, maybe a little more, 60, 70, 60, 50. Okay, the app value needs to be 140. Okay, so we do 1. And we do it again, comma, and then we need to push that one over a little more, 150, 60, 70, and then down 1, 200, 210, 200, 210. So now we just use that variable twice, and that works. We'll do a very similar thing. Call this one B, and it's got a different width. We're not going to try to reuse anything at this point. Var dash dash B, there it is. We move it over probably 80 pixels and then down 120 pixels. This is me just guessing the numbers and not guessing perfectly. All right, and then again, I'm going to move that one a little bit more over, 190, 200, 210, and then down 40, 50, 60. That's good. Then another conic gradient, because again, these are my favorite kind of gradients. And this one needs a yellow. And I think this is 100 by 100. And we need to make sure we put it in a new variable, otherwise we'll be reusing it in a way that doesn't make any sense. Var dash dash C, and that that at value is no good. Is it what, 80? Again, my inability to keep these numbers in my head, or really I'm not trying. 100 and then 100, 4, 5, 6, 110. And again, one more. 210 over 60. And that's how you use 3 kind of gradients, which are each reused twice to create that. Are there patterns here that can be used and reused? Not really. Not that I can see. Minify, unit replace, I think that's good enough for today. But so we did box shadows and we did all gradients, and that's a fun solution to that. Because it's boxes, yeah, there's so many ways to do this. It's great. What's going on? So I need to resubmit. I don't think I've gotten a score on this. Hello. Submitting, waiting for the back end. So this is being checked against the back end of CSS Battle, which is a Chromium headless server, and says, hey, okay, for each pixel, does it match? And 100% is, in theory, all of the pixels match. And so that's what I got there. Not as good a score. Obviously, there's a fair amount of duplication. There are more efficient ways to do these patterns. Obviously. Oh, let's do it another way. Oh, goodness gracious. Why not? Why not? Okay, so if we're going to do this in another way, what would it be? So we'll create the shape using margins. Okay. So push this down. 4, 5, 6, 42, height 200, 180. Okay. So what can we do to efficiently create this shape? Is there something we can do to make this very, very efficient? I think it's just a linear gradient, right? Like, I think that's, well, you could do border on the top. That introduces a lot of different code. We could do inset box shadows. Linear gradient, I think, is what we want. So, and those colors are that, transparent, that, transparent, and then the yellow. And then we got to figure out a way to do less. So there's our shapes. So basically, we've got this cutout area that we need to do something with. And so, so 30, 30, 40 pixels, 0, 70 pixels, 50, 70, 0, no, how about 80? There it is. I think we need 100 pixels there and then 0. Okay, so let's make the second one now. And the thing that folks were talking about was nesting. So we can do that, and we can do translate 100 pixels. And then we'll see that once we do a negative value on the bottom margin, which will pull the second paragraph up, minus 100. There we go. 2, 3, 2, 3, 4. To translate, so let's move it on the x-axis 160 pixels and turn it upside down, which is scale -1. So there we've got, so that's it. And this is the thing that was pointed out in the comments over the day. You have to use nesting, the nested syntax. I'm ambivalent about the nested syntax. I do use it, obviously, in the nested template. But here, it's fine, I guess. I find it a little harder to debug in my work, and so I tend to avoid it. I like to use SAS, CSS files in my work, but again, that's a very different kind of beast. But I think it's fine for this. So, is there a single mask that I can use to create those shapes? No, there's not. I could do a clip path with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 points. Not particularly good. Or I can do a conic, two conic gradients, I guess. I could do a mask. Or I can just do a gradient with some color here. And so we'll do that, I think. The other thing I could do would have this be 3 linear gradients. Each has, some different things going on in terms of repeats and widths. So let's do two we'll just go conic gradient. We're already too long in this video. Okay. So let's see, from 180 degrees, there's color, 25%, and then transparent. So we've kind of done that a little, but we still need a center of it at 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. That's not too bad. That's pretty efficient. And then how about, what else can we do? What else can we do? Let's just do another kind of gradient. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. This one needs a vertical. This one I want. All right, so there we go. That does, is that the number? 30, 20, 30, 40. There it is. So depending on how you look at it, it's a little more complicated, but it works. I'm happy with that. One of those ones. This isn't, again, like I said, this is one of those puzzles that's got so many different ways to solve it that my head spins. And this is a good deal more verbose, a lot more code in terms of how it looks. All these color stops, so it manages to be an even worse score. I guess we can trim at it a little bit, but it's really not a terrific solution in terms of code golf at all. Even though we are using the plus P. Thanks for the commenters for those pointing that out. If you see me do P plus P in the future, you don't have to call it out. I know. I just like to write code that's familiar and fast. That's really the way I go for these videos. But it's always a good reminder to know what capabilities exist. All right, that's enough for today. Take care of yourself. Take care of each other. Go make a webpage. I'll see you around. Bye.